Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PennZone, PennLive's high school football watch-along show and post-game show. I'm sports editor Austin Hertzog, joined by high school football expert, trending news guru, Brian Linder. Brian, we got big news tonight coming out of the Mid-Penn.
Yeah,
Stone Saunders has
Stone
tied
Saunders,
the.
man.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I was putting the cart in front of the horse there, man. I was ready to go. You know how I get fired up for these Friday nights, Austin. We just pushed
I know
it
you
out.
do.
We just pushed it out. News across the statewide news. Last year, we got to follow the whole PA passing king kind of march of Steel High quarterback Alex Irby. And tonight, with 6 touchdowns in the first half of their game against Carlisle, Stone Saunders ties Alex Irby for the all-time lead in career passing touchdowns in the state of Pennsylvania, which is incredible, Austin. You know, he's a Kentucky commit, but if you look at the list of quarterbacks, Austin, who've been in Pennsylvania, Johnny Unitas, Joe Namath, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Matt Ryan, it's on and on and on of just, Joe Montana, and here we got Stone Saunders now tied with Alex Irby. And we're right here in Central PA. Both of these kids are in our backyard, right around the city of Harrisburg, with this incredible record.
Yeah, let's. We got producer Megan ready to cue up the tying touchdown from Stone here. I think she's gonna press play on that one and let us all see how Stone tied Alex Irby's record here towards the end of the first half. Here, seems just on the smooth rollout. Hits it right at the pylon.
40 seconds to go in the half. That was Nas Jones Davis, running back for them. That was his second touchdown pass to Nas of the night. Nas is a really good player. He had over 1,000 yards combined for them. He's one of those guys that doesn't get talked about a ton, Austin, because they have so many good players. But last year he had over 1,000 yards combined, and that's his second touchdown catch of the night. 6 in the first half, 49-0. McDevitt was up at the half, so. Big night for them.
That was one of the things that stood out to me as I saw the first half box score was that Nas had the 2 TDs, but it was spread out. All the other 4 TDs were spread out amongst single scores from different guys. Maurice Barnes from 29 yards, Gage Ruth from 26, which I think we have the video of. Jonte Quick from 19, and then Dominic Diaz-Ellis from 78. So looks like this one is the I believe this is the Jonte Quick 19-yarder.
And for people that want to know a little factoid or a little kind of insider nugget, Jonte Quick is a sophomore. He was a freshman. He had like 48 catches last year for them. You know, they had Rico Scott, the Alabama guy there. Rico's at Alabama now. But Jonte Quick has got an interesting comparison before his freshman season last year from Jeff Wachter, which is McDevitt's coach. He compared him to Brian Lamel. And for people who don't know, Brian Lamel caught like 110 balls, 120 balls, something like that, his senior year at McDevitt, which was a state all-time record. I think Julian Fleming might have broken that. But, he got a pretty impressive comparison. He had a really good freshman year. He was actually the runner-up in our PA Player of the Week voting this week. Jonte Quick was. I think we had over 20,000 votes in that.
Gaining some traction, so that's pretty good
from
Jonte. Yeah, I love how easy that TD looks. Just the few-step drop from Saunders, and he just airs it out, hits his spot perfectly.
Yeah,
and lets his man run onto it.
Stone's good, man. He's been doing this since he was a freshman. So he's a Kentucky commit. Bright future. His dad, for people that don't know, tuning in around the state, his dad is Steve Saunders, who was the longtime strength conditioning coach for the Baltimore Ravens. He got let go before last year.
Hey, Brian, when did you sense that Stone could be in this kind of territory?
So Wachter told me before, during his 8th grade year, or before his freshman year.
Okay. We're talking that early. All right.
Yeah, he thought Stone was going to be pretty good. And I was going through some health issues, but I sent Jeff, I actually had Greg Pickle go over to, it's funny because Greg was technically my boss, but I talked him into going over to the 7-on-7 at Manheim Central. and he texted, yeah, this kid's pretty good. So we kind of knew that, and he had an offer, Austin, before. He was another one of these kids who had an offer before he had a varsity snap. He actually had like a Michigan offer. You know, the connection being that his dad at the time, I think, was working for John Harbaugh, right? And Michigan was coached by Jim Harbaugh. So
sure. Pedigree, man, it matters, doesn't it? We see it there.
He's been this, he's probably more of your traditional sort of pocket quarterback, about 6'2", 205-ish. Throws a nice ball, as you can see. Has good ball placement, good accuracy. He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna have the Dylan Raiola type arm, or he doesn't have that arm cannon that you see from some of the guys. But he throws a nice catchable ball. Like I said, he always has pretty good ball placement. Smart kid, and he's been doing this since he was a freshman.
Yeah, hoping to have him on the show later on too after the game wraps. Also, while he did,
we're thinking that they're probably going to pull him out, being up 49-0 and break that.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah, he did not play the second half. I believe backup quarterback named Sebastian Williams was taking snaps there in the second half for McDevitt, who was handily in front of Carlisle. So while we have seen the state record tied, don't think we're seeing it fall tonight.
Here's a fun
that'll have to be next Friday at home, which kind of works out nicely for them. They can have a little bit of pomp and circumstance around the opportunity of him breaking the record.
Hey, here's a fun nugget too for you, Austin, to tell you what kind of a kid Alex Irby is. We pushed it out.
I was just going to say, yep,
saying that Stone Saunders tied the record, and Alex has already liked the story on social media. So he's giving it a like. He's always kind of been like that, supportive. And I think he told Stone Saunders last year, he tweeted at him to go get it when they were both going for state championships. And obviously, McDevitt came up a little short last year, shockingly losing to Dallas, but Steel High went and got it. So that's good to see. Alex Irby's a good young kid. He signed. He was supposed to go to Navy. He's actually at Navy Prep, which is like the deal that gets you ready for Navy. From what I understand, and he's the quarterback for them this year. 6'4", 205, 210 pounder. He can play. But yeah, Stone making it look easy. Carlisle's rebuilding, man. Brandon Cook and those guys there trying to get it going, but just not as many weapons. No way to really match up with McDevitt on the night.
Yeah, I don't know Alex at all, but I really love the fact that he's one of the first people liking that tweet and on that story. I mean, that's fantastic. That's class. Not only that, but like he's keeping an eye on it, and Alex, where he was tipped off to it, and he's keeping an eye on it. Where it's like you could just try to ignore it, or if it falls, it falls. But no, he's like actively viewing this and seeing that. So I class there.
Alex is the all-time record holder for appearances on our PA High School Football Report podcast. Many a time, Austin, I would have somebody fall through, and I just text Alex and be like, "Hey, you want to hop on?" And he would hop on. He was on. He's probably been on 5 or 6 times, 7 times. So
that's great.
We just got to Harrisburg there, didn't we?
We were there for a second.
Harrisburg is struggling with Cedar Cliff. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I think producer Megan's going to jump onto it here in a second. But yeah, we got.
I saw 28-20. Harrisburg was leading.
Yeah, here we are.
We got a live stream on PennLive.com. So if you guys are subscribers, you can hop on over there and actually watch it. If you don't like listening to me and Austin just talk football and look at stuff, you can also hop over to our live stream and check that out.
Yeah, you hear Bruce Badgley on the call. He's been doing great work on our live streams all throughout the last number of seasons, including this year. So Bruce is a one-man gang, really.
Tom DiMartini is already calling in because Mechanicsburg had a game. Why don't we could come back. This is a close one, but Tom, 9:02, and you're done. What happened tonight? What was our game?
Well, Mechanicsburg went out to a 14-0 lead just 29 seconds into the game. Josh Schmidt took the opening kickoff 91 yards. Defense got an interception. They put more points on the board, 28-0 by halftime. And I have Isaac Dahlman with me here, who scored 4 touchdowns tonight. And maybe you'd like to speak with him.
Yeah.
Love to. Yeah.
Isaac.
Hi.
Do you know who Al Bundy is?
I do not.
Married with Al Bundy. See, you're making me feel old. You got to look this up. He's a classic sitcom character. He scored 4 touchdowns in one high school game. Bragged about it the rest of his life.
Really?
All-time classic.
Oh my God.
I'm being called
Isaac, don't listen to him. Don't listen.
Millennial.
He's talking about TV shows that are 35 years old. Well, we want to hear from you,
Quality,
Isaac. What went so right tonight? What was clicking for you and the rest of the guys?
I just think that our O-line made us win this game. I didn't really do very much. All I did was run right where they gave me the huge gaps. And also our defensive line, they really just put a pressure on them tonight, and they made it hard for them to do anything offensively. And that was pretty much it.
You guys had the passing game going with Eli and Eli Ryder and Josh Smith, man. You get the running game going too, and you guys are still undefeated, right?
Yeah, we are.
We did. You look, it wasn't that long ago, Austin, when I got here. You know, I've been here about 8 years. When I got here, Mechanicsburg was bad, right? I mean, that was a little bit before your time, but
yeah,
you probably saw some lean years in Mechanicsburg football as you came up. How good does it feel right now to have this team kind of rolling like it is?
It feels great knowing that our guys are going to be remembered, and knowing that we're finally putting together a season that our community can come and support, come and watch, and they just have fun watching us.
Isaac, what stands out most about what you guys have been able to put together where you say undefeated? That's the goal of everybody.
Yeah.
What stands out most about throughout this course of 4 or 5 weeks that you really feel like you can hang your hat on the most so far?
I feel like even when we win these big games, our guys come back every morning and we come to every practice and we work hard. We don't let practice go because we know that if we let one go, you know, we practice how we play. So we got to make sure we're doing our best no matter what.
Well, listen, man, I'm impressed. You got a new coach there, Dave Hackard, taking over for Coach Rose. I like Coach Rose a lot. What has been the difference with Coach Hackard coming in there, and you know what is kind of the switch up been like from Anthony Rose to Dave Hackard?
I think the intensity that Coach Hackard brings, he pushes us really hard, and he also brought in a couple new guys that really have helped us, like our coach, our weightlifting coach. He's helped us gain a lot of weight during the off season, get stronger, and he's just prepared us with all the conditioning and all the time we spent over the summer to get to this point.
Yeah, Dave Hackard was a wrestling coach, Austin. So you know he's coming with a different mindset. So
yep.
Yeah, they're a special breed, and they know the intensity of competition. So we clearly see it here with the Mechanicsburg guys out there. So Isaac, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Congratulations on the start, man. Yeah. What was your favorite one?
I'd probably have to say the second one when it just opened up like the Red Sea. That was great.
Well, look, 4 touchdowns in one high school game. Do not take a job as a shoe salesman and stay away from girls named Peg. And you don't want to drive any Dodges.
I'll try not to.
Isaac, thanks so much for joining us.
Look up Al Bundy tonight.
All right, I will. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Isaac. Look at that, man. You with that, man. That's the second time this week you with the Al Bundy reference.
I'm 41. Kids should know Al Bundy. Probably not.
They should, Brian. I'm a year older than you. They shouldn't know Al Bundy. Married with Children was off the air like.
Oh man, I watch
15, 20 years before these kids were even born.
I watch it every day. Look at Bruce looking at us. Hey, Bruce. Look, it's for people that don't know. It's 28-20 right now, and we're on the Harrisburg Cedar Cliff stream. Bruce is commentating in a break here, but this is surprising, Austin. Cedar Cliff, I did not expect to be in this game with Harrisburg, which we know Harrisburg story. They losing their star quarterback before the season, losing Kevin Brown, the big time commit to a foot injury. 2:40 to go, though. Close game here.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a
This
Cedar
Harrisburg
Cliff
has
team
the
that's
ball.
coming. It's a Cedar Cliff team that's coming off back-to-back losses, a 1-point loss to CD East, and then got their doors blown off 56-16 by McDevitt last weekend. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's play for pride time. It's like it's a put up or shut up kind of moment for them. So I guess you'd expect such a good effort, not only because of where they are in their season, but also from the fact that it's Harrisburg coming to town. But yeah, you gotta give big respect to them for the way they've and look, man, this game's got only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, down 8. They're into Harrisburg territory. We got a funky finish here potentially.
They are Cedar Cliff's well coached. They've always been able to run the ball since I've been here. Colin Gillen's their coach. Preston Dent, this young running back they got in there this year. And look, I mean, Harrisburg is about as resilient as you can be too. So this is going to be a fun ending here, I think, because they're moving the ball a little bit here. Harrisburg's worn down a little bit. One of the interesting things we talk about Austin with Harrisburg, and people don't know this, but I think Harrisburg was last in the state title game 2 years ago in 6A, and they had 35 kids on the roster. They were like the second or third smallest team at the state championships playing in 6A. And they kind of hang right around there, that 30 to 40 kids on the roster type area. So, I mean, Cedar Cliff probably has double the amount of kids on the sideline. They just don't have as many big-time recruits as Harrisburg.
Yeah. Well, didn't we talk last week about that? A lot of the Harrisburg guys go 2 ways, which is really, I mean, it's a product of the roster size, but at the same time, it's so rare at the 6A level for top guys to be going 2 ways.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that a team with the pedigree of Harrisburg is doing it, rare and pretty special too. But at the same time, you look at a grinded out game like this with 141 left. Is their tank a little low from those guys going 2 ways? I don't know. That can factor in.
I really think, and honestly, you know, I've said some different stuff about coaches doing a good job. I'm actually not like a rah-rah coach guy. I feel like coaches all the time kind of say the same sort of things. You get coach speak and stuff like that, and they're looking out for themselves a lot of the time. But I will say I do think that what I said about Colin Gillenstree is a really good coach. And at the same time, I think Calvin Everett, with what they've been able to do, you know, over the last 8 years since I've been here, the better part of the last decade, they've been to 3 state championships, and really in position to maybe go to 1 or 2 more. The Michael Parsons senior year, they should have gotten to 1. That was an incredible upset, but when they lost to Governor Mifflin. But I think he's you can make an argument for him as being, you know, one of the top 3 or 4 coaches in the state. Just off what he's done with these small roster sizes. And again, he has had some elite players. You know, he's had the Michael Parsons and Damian Barbers and stuff like that, Kane Eversons, but he's done some great things with what he's had. So,
yeah, to be sure.
Lost her feed again.
Yeah, sorry, the stream broke. I'm bringing it back.
Hey, let's run down some mid-pen scores while we're at it. Northern 34, Redland 7. We got a close one between Cumberland Valley and Central Dauphin, 10-7 Cumberland Valley.
I'm a little surprised by the Northern score. I thought Northern would beat them, but also Northern was without its 2 starting offensive tackles tonight. So,
State College 16, Chambersburg 7, Newport 16, Susquehanna 7. Got a tight battle at Line Mountain. Line Mountain 27, Upper Dauphin 26. James Buchanan up 8-0 on Halifax up there in the mountains. East Pennsboro 35, Boiling Springs 13. Trinity, I believe, just extended to a 2-score lead, 28-13 on Milton Hershey. Central Dauphin East 27-0 over Altoona. Hey, Juniata 28, Camp Hill 7. I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on that one, Brian. I know the whole gang picked Camp Hill, and here we are, Juniata, really coming coming and showing their best. We talked to Jasper Sheps last week, and they had a easier one last week, but it sounded like they were really primed to come and show their stuff at Camp Hill, and clearly they've done that tonight.
Dan Sostek's out there. He said that their standout quarterback for Camp Hill, Drew Brandstatter, may have injured his ankle in that game. So we'll see. We'll find out more from that coming out there. Drew Brandstatter's put up some big numbers. Probably one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the state, running the air raid at Camp Hill. So that would be a big loss for them if it's for any amount. There's a big stop in the backfield by Harrisburg. What down are we coming up on third down here?
Yes.
A minute to go.
What, 3rd and 12 maybe? Minute. Okay, they got to air it out
They changed
here.
it down over, Austin.
Yeah, I don't think they did either.
Just throws it up, and that's intercepted. I think that's Elias Koch back
I was just
there.
going to say, I think it's Elias, and he's running it out. You see some day. Oh, my.
That's Elias Koch, I do believe.
Yes, yeah.
So big and long, looks like a deer, and that'll be.
I was just going to say, you can see
I'll
his
tell you,
leg. Yeah.
Out of any kid in the state, that's the wrong kid to throw a jump ball on.
Yeah, I mean, what did he run that back? Like 72 yards or so? It's one of those that, any other kid, you'd say, take the touchback. But with his speed, with his ability to break away, sure, go run it out for the 70 yards. That's well done. So that's going to ice that for Harrisburg. Another big late game play from Elias Koch after, as we know, he blocked the late game field goal to preserve the win over State College in week 3. So another big clutch play from Elias.
He caught the game winning pass in the District 3 title game. Got some that was good to see. You got some handshakes from the left tackle there in Harrisburg and defensive end for Cedar Cliff.
Yeah.
So they're dapping it up.
Yeah.
You know what? Cedar Cliff's had a rough season now. I think they got what's their record now? I'm not sure.
2-3. They won their first 2.
I mean, like you said,
I don't know. Is it that rough that they lose to McDevitt and Harrisburg? Like, are you going to knock? I mean, the CD East game could have gone either way. So It's not going in the right direction for them. But
I would say if you're Cedar Cliff, you don't like the CD East loss. That's tough. The Bishop McDevitt one, you don't like that just because you played Bishop McDevitt tough in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You also got destroyed by him some in the past. And this one is just a heartbreaker because I can tell you, and we didn't watch all of it, Cedar Cliff played their butts off to be in this game. So big shout out to Cedar Cliff. That was a heck of an effort. And I'll tell you what, I don't think Calvin Everett's been he wasn't happy with their win over Chambersburg over the weekend. And you got to wonder about this win. So
yeah. We got a few finals now. Obviously, we talked to Tom DiMartini and Isaac Dolman. Mechanicsburg 48-20 over Gettysburg. Harrisburg 28-20 over Cedar Cliff. Hey, we got this one here. Middletown 14, West Perry 9. And Juniata 35-7 over Camp Hill.
I got to double check that West Perry.
That's what we got on score screen. I can't.
On this one. Here you go, look. You keep
talking,
I'm going to dig around.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, we got the West Perry. West Perry falls in a road battle with Middletown, 14-9.
That is incredible.
According to the West Perry football Twitter account, which does a great job. Whoever runs that, so yeah. After they turned some heads, that was your result of the night last week, and they go out on the wrong side this week.
That is a huge win for Middletown. We talked about this. Middletown was a proud program. They went to 3 or 4, I think 4 state titles with Brett Myers, 4 state title games. Then they had the hazing incident 2 years ago. They shut down the program.
And maybe a little
rightfully
confusion
so.
now, the referee's trying to sort things
They
out.
brought it back last
after
year,
the timeout.
and they were very bad. And now, this year they sort of
Referee
shown
we're
some
talking on the
signs.
Chambersburg sideline
They've been,
now,
of life.
explaining
And then
some
all of a
things to the
sudden,
coaching staff.
they go out and they beat
22
West
to
Perry,
7.
an undefeated
Our
West Perry
score
team.
here at
A
Trojan
West Perry
Stadium.
team that beat Susquehanna Township last week. And Susquehanna Township
First
has a
and 10
ton of
here from
weapons.
the Chambersburg
Susquehanna
32-yard line.
Township beat Steel High last night.
Kellen
Beat them pretty
Williams
good.
in the shotgun
That
for
is
State
an
College.
impressive win
And
for
he fakes
Middletown.
to Wilson, and he's going to fire it over to Michael Gall.
So Middletown over West Perry is
taken down by Dylan
the shocker of the night.
Along with
Love it.
Losius.
I love when the results don't exactly always go chalk. That's what keeps it interesting. So often you get into this phase of the year and just you know what the result's going to be. So I love when teams rise up and find a way and to have the unexpected results. So well done to Middletown.
Yeah, that's
now
not
for
one
State
anybody
College.
saw coming.
Kellen Williams in the gun,
So
rolling to
Scott
his
Govern,
right looking.
coach there,
Flag
credit to him
coming.
and his guys apparently getting the
And
job
that
done.
could be a number of
Middletown
different things. It could be
beating
offsides, it could be holding.
Let's pray. We're parachuting in here
I'm
on the
not
State
sure where they're
College
gonna
game.
go with it.
State
Yes,
College
sir.
and Chambersburg. What's the score?
Yep. The latest that I know of is 16-7 State College.
I'm a little surprised they're still kind of throwing it down the field.
Brian, how surprised should we be by the way that Juniata was able to take down Camp Hill by 28 points?
On the other side of the field.
Juniata, they lost to Steel High. And Steel High is not the same Steel High that they had been in the past. Juniata has some players. Wyatt Aaronzeller. Obviously, Jasper Shepard got his first offer from Memphis.
Well, no, Juniata beat Steel High.
Yeah.
That was the one that snapped Steel High's
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yep.
league record.
But
But it was it was a pretty competitive game.
As Kellen Williams gets the
they have some ball players. And the one thing about Camp Hill that you always worry about, Camp Hill has the weapons. They have Drew Branstetter quarterback, Alex Long, the big wide receiver, Noah Doyle, who's the smaller wide receiver. Put up some big numbers, but they don't have a lot of depth, Austin, and they haven't been very big up front, which is another reason why they kind of do the air raid stuff and throw it around. So Camp Hill's not a team without weakness. They're well coached with Tim Bigelow, and they kind of play to their strengths. I'm not overly shocked, though. The Juniata's a little bit more of your hard-nosed team that'll go in there and go at you a little bit, and they got some guys, too. So I don't say I'm stunned. But I think I did pick Camp Hill. I think everybody picked Camp Hill.
First down at the 17
Yeah, everyone
yard
did.
line.
That's why
For
for everyone to pick a team, and I think the spread that we had was a 7-point spread in favor of Camp Hill, but then to see it go the other way with a 28-point win for Juniata. So congrats to a friend of the show, Jasper Sheps and company.
28 points is not, I think, is the big surprise. Yeah, not necessarily the win, but it was
right.
I would imagine they would prefer to get a
So,
touchdown.
Yeah, big games there in Juniata from Javier Lopez and Lane Piper, according to our reporter Dan Sostic, who was on the scene.
So Chambersburg here, 16-7, you said. They're down to State College. Eddie Corkery's rolling out.
To about the 10, maybe the 9-yard line.
Looks like State College is going to get a chance to score again here.
Yeah.
I will give Chambersburg credit. We thought they were going to be pretty bad. They've been bad the last couple of years. But
so, guys, I know my name is Ramiro Vaughn, and that obviously says Elias Cook. So after what you had, two picks, and 2 touchdowns, you talk to the man himself.
We would love to. Great friend of the show, Elias.
Elias has been on every edition we've had. Elias,
what's up?
I said out of the one guy that you don't want to throw the jump ball out at the end, they threw it at you, my man. So what were you thinking?
Over to his right. Is that Salazar? Salazar caught the ball, but he's out of
What
bounds.
was going through your mind on that last play when they threw the ball up to you?
To be honest, I had my hips turned at first, but then I seen the ball in the air and I just attacked it and went up and
It's a
grabbed
tough
it.
vantage point for back here seeing it live. It's a tremendous catch.
It was a mistake throwing it too, right? I mean,
Definitely
that is a
mistake.
really tremendous
because
play.
I think you're one of the premier jump ball guys in the state. Let me ask you, man. I'll be honest. I was surprised Cedar Cliff played you guys as tough as they did. Did they surprise you guys tonight, or what can you say about their effort in this game?
Yeah, definitely. They came to play. We took it easy at first. We played soft the first half. And the second half, Coach Cal gave us a speech in the thing talking about we can't take them soft. We got to come out 110% and play.
End of the day, though, you get a win over a well-coached program. You guys got, 3 or 4 in a row now. How are you guys feeling right now, and how do you guys keep this going, man?
We feel pretty good, but we got to come in the game starting strong. Got to start 110%.
Yeah, is that a source of frustration, Elias, where it's like you guys are finding the ways to win, but at the same time, you're not blowing the doors off of anybody, even though we know that you're capable of that. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating because we know we're a good team, but we really didn't see how fully good we are yet, and hopefully we can see that later in this season.
Love it. We look forward to seeing that.
You going to any games this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to Penn State Saturday, tomorrow.
Well, have fun, man. Check it out. Maybe might see you there someday.
I appreciate you, Coach.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Elias.
Ramir.
Yes.
What did you think of this game tonight, man?
It was a good game. It was a really good game. I thought Harrisburg was really going to run away with it, but Cedar Cliff showed a lot, improved a lot tonight. They stayed in it the whole time. They were able to run the ball and get the ground game going a little bit. We shortened the clock, but after, like Elias said, they got that halftime speech and they came out. Harrisburg's defense had, I believe it was 4 straight 3-and-outs really to close the game, and Elias with the big pick six. I think it was 55 yards, like a 55-yard pick six to essentially end the game because Harrisburg's offense couldn't get much going.
And Cedar Cliff comes back down at the end. They end up losing 28-20. And they get it Austin there across midfield and Ramir, and they throw that jump ball. And I said that's the wrong guy to throw the jump ball at. Is Elias Coach, like 6'3" and with the long arms and goes up and gets everything, right?
Yeah. Once the ball got up in the air, I was sitting in the press box and I had the view of it. I said, yeah, that's coming the other way.
All right, Ramir. Temple and Utah State tomorrow.
Say it again.
Temple and Utah State tomorrow.
Yeah, Utah State by 50.
Ramir is a Temple grad, and he just picked Utah State by 50.
I am a realist. Temple is bad, and I will not act like they're not.
All right, Ramir.
Man.
See you guys.
Ramir, thanks. There's actually an interesting one, Brian, in that game. For Utah State, there's a kid who running back out of Pottsgrove in Philly suburbs named Rasul Faison. One of the best running backs I ever saw in my time covering football in that region.
I feel like he's been in college.
Rasul has had an incredibly journey of prep school after he graduated Pottsgrove, prep school in Connecticut. Then he was at Marshall, then left there. Then he was, I want to say, back in like a junior college, and then found his way to Utah State of all places. And it's finally been putting it together. So it's a homecoming for him to be at Temple. So that's one I've had my eye on because he was super elite in his high school years at Pottsgrove. So little tidbit there.
I remember watching his film, and it feels like he's been in college like 8 years.
Well, that's with the way that his journey was. It really is. It was on and off, and then the prep school years and JUCO and all that kind of thing. So it's been a heck of a. It was actually like a story that I would almost like to do. It's like, man, to just keep plugging away, keep trying. Like at a certain point, a lot of guys just if they face that adversity, it's like at a certain point, it's okay. I'm gonna fall back. It's not gonna work out for me. But to keep persevering and to be able to be making an imprint on a Utah State team I think they made a bowl game last year. So yeah, pretty good stuff there.
So Chambersburg's coming back down the field on them. They're moving the ball a little bit. Look, State College is a solid program, and they lost a pretty close one to Harrisburg. obviously with Elias Coke blocking that extra point. We know they're a well-coached team in Matt Tall, and they got some good ball players, but here we go with Chambersburg's moved the ball on them a little bit, and they weren't exactly getting blown out. We had to update the score because we don't have the scoreboard on the feed.
Yeah, according to Score Stream, still says 16-7.
A couple of years ago, Martin Luther had a good group of kids come through, and they had a running back named Keyshawn Johnson, who was really good. Ran for 1,000 yards twice in a row. And they had a couple. They had a couple good playoff teams there in a row. In between, it's around that, it's been kind of tough for them. But you gotta at least the way they kind of played Harrisburg, and Harrisburg left that win not really happy with how they performed, and then tonight they're kind of at least in the fight a little bit, in the mix a little bit with State College and moving it and finding some success. That's pretty good for Chambersburg. So
yeah, I have an updated score now on that, Brian, as we were looking. State College 22-7. Most recent score from State College was Kellen Williams tossing it to Michael Gall for the TD with 11 minutes left. So we're later on from there.
Gall's he committed last week to play college football.
That's right, to Villanova.
He's going to play linebacker. So, hey, looking statewide, I'll say Springford. Last score we got there is 35-3 over Norristown. Obviously, last week, if you guys saw the big news, Matt Zollers, the number 1 ranked quarterback in the state, had a really gruesome sort of leg injury in their game last week, and is going to be out for the season. He's obviously not playing tonight, but you see Springford responding there tonight against Norristown, which Norristown isn't exactly a powerhouse, but
no. That's a get right game, but yeah, it's one that you need to, and credit to this duo right here of being the first ones on that news of Matt's injury last Friday. We jumped right on it after the stream ended, so kudos to Brian. Hey, we got Evan Wheaton in the house.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're doing great. How are you?
Doing great. We had a pretty close one here at Landis Field. Cumberland Valley came out with a gutsy win, 10-7 over Central Dauphin. Central Dauphin made it real exciting at the end there. This Cumberland Valley defense, man, they came up clutch. I had Nolan Bazooka down for 7 receptions, 101 yards. Cameron Wolf made his first career start, and I have those two guys with me right here, actually, to talk about the game, so I'm going to hand it off to you guys.
Nice.
Fellas, this is a rivalry. Yeah. And I remember way back when Micah Parsons played for Central Dauphin in Harrisburg. He hated Cumberland Valley because of his time at Central Dauphin. I know it's a big rivalry. Is it still kind of that kind of rivalry with you guys?
Yeah, most definitely. Any team in green, there's a huge rivalry between us. Central Dauphin, they're known to have a really tough football program. We know every time we come into Landis or they come into Chapman, we know it's going to be a good game. So, yeah, I definitely call it still a rivalry.
Guys, what did you feel like were the most pivotal plays late to allow you to preserve this win? Because, man, that's a tight one.
You can get some of that.
Yeah. I feel like the most pivotal play was definitely our running backs just hitting the hole hard, falling forward on every single play. No matter if it was 3rd and 3, they're picking it up, or if it was like 3rd and 10, they're getting us closer so we can go for it on 4th down.
Definitely, I got some big man number 8 here. He had some huge scrambles to, get us out of trouble. 4th down, 3rd down, huge 1st down conversion. So, yeah.
What does this do for the overall scope of your year? How are you guys feeling about, I don't know, the big picture piece of everything?
It gives us a huge confidence boost. We're coming back here again for Central Dauphin East. They're a really good football program as well. They have amazing athletes. That just motivates us even more because we know we have a challenge coming in, and we win, the better confidence coming in the next week.
Well, guys, Josh Oswalt tell you guys anything going into this? We had a commercial pop up.
Did Coach Oswalt tell you guys anything coming into this that really stood out?
just always being there and pushing us in practice. I mean, that when he gets under our skin in practice, he just really wants us to go out there and prove him wrong and, you know, make ourselves be seen and make our team just better and better every single week.
Yep.
All right, fellas.
Well, guys, congratulations on the win. Well done. Thanks for joining us tonight. And good luck the rest of the way.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, one last thing. Obviously, this was Cameron Wolf's first career start. There was a point there at the end. I won't say it in the stat sheet, but on 4th and 6, Cam scrambled out there for a 17-yard gain to set up what ultimately became that game-winning field goal from Andrew Rice. So big stuff for a first varsity game from QB. Big stuff from Cumberland Valley to rebound this week on the road.
Fantastic. Look forward to reading the story, Evan. Thanks for lining up Nolan and Cameron, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. It's good stuff, man.
Having political ads pop up on my computer in between.
You and literally every other American.
I'm gonna tell you what, it's YouTube is. They spent a lot of money on YouTube ads this year.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of ads, Brian, if anyone out there would care to sponsor PennZone,
yeah,
hit us up. Hey, Hertzog at PennLive.com or B Linder at PennLive.com.
Yeah.
Cold Brew Company, if there's anybody out there, Brian would happily crack the can. You should have heard that can crack that he had earlier tonight. It was a thing of beauty. He'd happily pound a few cold brews. So cold brew or otherwise, we're opportunity for sponsors here on PennZone, because we love that I'm thrilled with. I mean, we're having a good flow tonight too. We've got the games live, but we're getting the guests in. We've had a good list of guests already. We've had right off from Cumberland Valley there with Cameron Wolf and Nolan Bazalka. We had Elias Koch from Harrisburg on earlier. We may be getting Stone Saunders, the state record tying quarterback from Bishop McDevitt. We got a good night coming here on PennZone.
I'm trying to see if the Imhotep score is right, because we have Imhotep losing to Lincoln and not even close, 47-6. So
what?
Yeah, so I'm not sure about it. Carl Atkins says 14-9. Yeah, Carl, we were talking about it earlier. That is not a game that anybody picked Middletown to win. That's a good win. Carl's been out in Middletown since I've been here. Got here 8 years ago, and Carl Atkins was sending this stuff on Middletown football. Carl, that's a huge win for Middletown as it tries to get that program rebuilt. West Perry was undefeated, and nobody picked Middletown to win that game, but they won it tonight. So, Carl, tell them to send us some stats in on that game, man. West Perry will send them in, I know, but tell Middletown to send us some stuff. A big win for those kids, Austin. You know.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's see what else we got cooking here.
Yeah, 47-6 score stream has Lincoln beating Imhotep, which is, I don't know, Austin. That would blow my mind if Imhotep lost to Lincoln like that. It's got Parkland beating Nazareth, who has Peyton Falzoni, the Virginia Tech commit, at quarterback, 31-6. It's be a really good win for Parkland.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my father-in-law out at Emmaus versus Easton. Easton's been a real riser out of District 11. Headed to overtime in that one between Easton and Emmaus, 21 all.
LaSalle College, 48, Episcopal 3. LaSalle, of course, with the Rutgers committed quarterback, Gavin Sidwar, Joey O'Brien at wide receiver, Julian McFadden, the Syracuse committed wide receiver. They can put up some points. They beat Harrisburg pretty good start of the year. That's a really good team that could really challenge for a 6A state title this year. I don't know if you saw, but apparently, St. Joe's Prep's been a little bit of a mystery. because they're kind of reloading this year. But apparently they have another Marvin Harrison son.
Saw that. Yeah.
Jeff Harrison, apparently out there doing some stuff for them. So
yeah, what a freshman who is cut from the same cloth as the family, both father and older brother. So we can expect, I would imagine, great things from little bro.
Yeah. 5A Roman Catholic, which is one of your top teams, taking a loss to DeMatha Catholic. DeMatha's, I think, a really strong team. Obviously, I think that's an out-of-state team there. It is an out-of-state team. So Roman goes down. Bishop McDevitt.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find anything on Imhotep and Lincoln, Brian.
Bishop McDevitt finished it off 56-7 over Carlisle. And we talked about as we came on the air, Stone Saunders ties the state record for passing touchdowns for career, 176. Ties former Steel High quarterback Alex Irby tonight. So he'll have a chance to, I believe they're home next week, and he'll have a chance to break the record. So big night on as far as state history and the history books there, Austin.
Yeah, we're back over with Trinity, who, according to producer Megan, it's a 3-point game now.
That's a little surprising. I really thought that Trinity, now look, Trinity was kind of overachieving because they lost a lot. They had a lot. Messiah Mickens transferred to Harrisburg. Santana Young, who's been one of the best receivers in the Mid-Penn, transferred to CD East. Their coach left for Penn State. And so they kind of had some guys who hung around. Emil Way, who's a college prospect at corner. Christian Joy's he was our PA Player of the Week this week. For games last week, he was voted in as the winner. And he's been really good for them at running back. And then Jacob Nestor, a linebacker who had over 130 tackles. They've got some good wins here lately. Milton Hershey's been really down this year. Thought that, Trinity might. There goes Christian Joy right there with a nice run, trying to put this thing away.
Hearing Christian Joy makes me think of what's coming next week from the whole bunch, which is our midseason All-Stars. Feels like Christian has made a good case for himself this year with the way he's run the ball to be a part of that midseason All-Star list. So look out for those, both whether it's football or all the other sports. Our midseason All-Stars are coming up next week.
Here is a shocker for you. Last update from Chris Harlan from the Trib is Penn Hills 21, Aliquippa 7 in the fourth quarter. So now Taki Hayes did not play last week. That's the Penn State commit for Aliquippa, the running back, who's been one of the best in the state for the past 4 years. But they have a young back named Sanir Brooks who had a really good week last week. He's got some college attention. So you don't usually see the Quips getting roughed up. And I think Penn Hills lost to, I believe Penn Hills lost to Susquehanna Township this year, right? Over in,
Is that right?
York, or was that Woodland Hills? I'm not.
Because I don't think that's right. Looks like Trinity just took one to the house. Long run down the right sideline.
So it looks like
it's too far away to tell if it was Joy, but quite possibly it was.
So it looks like they're going to put away. Yeah, I mean,
hey, no, you were right. You were right.
They lost
Susquehanna Township. Yeah, 36-30 in the opener. That's a 1-3 Penn Hills team. Huh.
So it's been a crazy night around the state, honestly. Middletown beating West Perry locally here in Central PA is not one I think anybody had on their scorecards, and the Penn Hills looks like they might beat Aliquippa. Is kind of a stunner too.
Yeah.
So
close one out of the Mid-Penn capital, Brian. Line Mountain 33, Upper Dauphin 32. Line Mountain escapes there to improve to 4-1, while Upper Dauphin drops to 1-4. That'd have been another big notable upset of the night.
Yeah, Line Mountain picked a lot of people. Lime Mountain was in that old Tri-Valley League that folded into the Mid-Penn, and a lot of people picking them to win their division there this year. So that would have been a surprise had they lost. But Upper Dolphin's perennially been fairly strong. So Twin Valley 49-7 over Octorara. Twin Valley has Brett Myers again. That's the coach that was at Middletown when they had their great run. So he's been doing really well. His son's the quarterback there at Twin Valley. Thomas Jefferson 35-7 over West Mifflin. I'm just looking at the statewide scoreboard here, Austin. Shamokin 76, Central Mountain 0. Rough night for Central Mountain. 76-0 is a tough one, my man.
Yeah, it's
Danville 49. Northwestern Lehigh keeps rolling along 42-7 over Lehighton. Notre Dame Green Pond 63-7 over Catasauqua. Notre Dame Green Pond has Matt Bodner, I believe, at quarterback. He's leading the state in passing yards. They put up some incredible offensive numbers this year.
Yeah.
Mount Carmel 41-17 over Montoursville. Again, they beat Southern Columbia last week. 7-6, I believe, blocking an extra point. So good year for them so far.
Yeah. Final. It's Easton escaped Emmaus in overtime, 28-21.
Easton's having a really nice season.
Yeah.
Really nice season.
They're a part of our 6A top 10.
Bald Eagle beats Phillipsburg Osceola 33-14. Carson Nagel's Bald Eagles quarterback. Again, guys, I plugged him on here before. He's kind of been putting up numbers for a while. Megan, look, if we could pull up Penn Hills Aliquippa, let's get a little look at that. That's a significant game statewide for you guys who are coming in. Looks like Penn Hills is going to beat Aliquippa tonight. Got a loose ball there. Looks like the Quips. So the Quips just cut into it. It's 21. They're looking to make it 21-14 here, Austin, with 6 minutes to go. So it's not over yet.
Yeah, with the straight on kicker. Look at that, not non-soccer style. We got a flag on the play. Nice broadcast here.
Yeah. This is like your Pac-12, your old Pac-12 game, right, or whatever. You know, you get your late night.
That's right. That's right.
It's one of the few games probably still going into state.
Yeah.
And it's a big one.
Yeah. That's what we need. We need to try to work out somebody to. Oh, and then he missed it. Still an 8-point game though, so you know, it at least is still a one score game.
Pretty brutal miss.
Yeah.
Bishop Guilfoyle 23-6 over Central. Guilfoyle's having a really good year. Fort Cherry 35-14 over Monessen. Fort Cherry, of course, with Matt Sigg, the quarterback. They played in the 1A title game last year. Lost to Steel High. Probably favorites to get back there again this year. Westinghouse beats Butler 28-17. They're probably in that mix to get there. Clareton's having another really nice year. They beat Fraser 60-0. Canton loses to Montgomery 19-16. Bishop Canavan 29, Cornell 22. Crazy night, though. Crazy night in the state. Middletown gets the win. Stone Saunders ties the state record. Southern Columbia gets the win tonight, 54-12 over Central Columbia. So that was a get-right game for them after losing last week.
Over in 6A, Central Bucks South 22-17 over Central Bucks West. That's always a big rivalry. Central Bucks South has really been on a nice upturn last few years. They run the ball beautifully. A rivalry game over in the LL. Manheim Township 38-0 over Hempfield.
Can anybody figure out, we're in the media and we can't figure out if this Lincoln 47 Steel High 6 score is accurate?
I'm going to be honest. If you and I can't find it, I don't know. Unless it's one of the players. I'm not sure who's going to clue us up right on that. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure if the game occurred tonight from some of the things that I'm seeing as I was seeking around here.
Well, I'm texting our team. See if they can get to the bottom of this, or if anybody out there knows.
Right.
So we got a thriller here, Austin. 21-13, 6 minutes to go. Penn Hills trying to shock the state and beat Aliquippa, which Aliquippa, again, I know they didn't play with Taki Hayes last week. I understand they may not be with them this week.
Right.
Senior Brooks is a really good running back for them. They just scored. Going to kick it off. And Penn Hills will be trying to put this thing away. Penn Hills lost to Susquehanna Township earlier this year in York.
Well, there's state top 10 in 5A rivalry game in Delaware County. Strathaven beat Garnet Valley 35-14. Strathaven may just be back all the way.
Garnet Valley's always pretty strong. Hasn't been
right.
there. That's a big win for them. North Allegheny taking out Norwin 36-14. So big night for you guys just tuning in. We're going to have a lot on Penn Live later tonight. Stone Saunders tying the state's all-time passing touchdowns mark. Alex Irby said it last year, and Stone Saunders, Bishop McDevitt quarterback, tied it. So got some history being made. Our producer says Max Prep says Imhotep winning that game 35-6. So I think somebody's playing games on Score Stream tonight.
I think that could be the case.
Which sounds more like it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I noticed last week, man. When I go and I do this PA top performances, the quarterbacks are putting up numbers this year across the state. I mean, you look at the top of the list last week. Kid named Devontae Dean, quarterback at Carlington, had 473 combined yards, Austin. 300 passing, 173 rushing, 4 touchdowns, 42-14 over Apollo Ridge. But you go down behind him, Trey Hopper, quarterback Montour, 436. Trey Wingard, quarterback Du Bois, 370. Riley Vanderpool from Towanda accounted for 356. Julius Reed from Graders Johnstown, 354. This kid, Drew Welhorski, people, he's a quarterback at South Fayette, Austin. I think he used to be like a lacrosse player. He's doing a really good job running it and throwing it. And, he's been a real dual threat for them, and he's having a nice year for them for South Fayette. He accounted for 346 last week. But it just Jaden Oliver from Armstrong, 343, Austin. Dante Carr, 337 from Minersville. These quarterbacks, my man, are putting up some big numbers.
Yeah. And Brian, it's interesting that you say that, because it made me think too, the fact that I do actually a little plug of something that I do every Tuesday morning, the High School Sports Highlights newsletter, which is written and curated by yours truly. That's a subscriber exclusive offering that we just started up when I came in. But my lead portion of it was highlighting all the great running performances from last week in the Mid-Penn. That's what really stood out to me, where we had Brad Hockenberry from West Perry running for he had 270 total yards last week. Christian Joy ran for 200 from Trinity. Northern's Gabe Johnson ran for 270. So it was just one of those weeks where it was like a running resurgence. But there on the statewide level, you see different ways that people are doing it. So big numbers on the from the air far and wide around the state. So, and hey, by the way, I just want to make a point that did you guys just hear what Brian rattled off, all those different names from around the state? Find me somebody else who's diving in for the entire state of Pennsylvania in the way that he just did.
We had over 200 names this week.
Over 200, exactly. People, get on it, join in. Brian is on top of the entire state like no one else.
You go right down to Mike Pastor at quarterback, Seton LaSalle. That's out near Pittsburgh City. 229 passing and 6 touchdowns. These QBs around the state are putting up some numbers, man. So
I look forward to you digging in this weekend and finding out who the new big name is for the week. It's
fun, man. It's fun just to look around the state. It kind of keeps you, you get a broader view of what's happening around the state and how things are going. I'll tell you another kid I'll plug here. The running back at Columbia Montour Tech, Braxton Brown. He's been up there a lot. He ran for 307 last week. And they won 58-22. He's had a really good year statewide. He's out there every week. Also interesting for Central PA as we watched this here. You guys who were just coming in, 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Penn Hills up 21-13 on Aliquippa, trying to put away the upset, trying to seal the deal here. We usually go off about 10, but also we got to stay until the end of this one.
We can do that.
And if anybody's tuning in, they want to ask any questions or throw anything in the chat, by all means, go ahead. But this would be a big win for Penn Hills. I don't care if Taki Hayes is playing or not, which we don't have the audio on this one, but we understand that he may not be playing. He didn't play last week. But the Quips are tough, man. If you can get a win over Aliquippa, especially these last couple of years, that's a good win. Like you said, I don't know whose broadcast this is. Maybe producer Megan does, but might be one of the Tribs. The Trib's been broadcasting some games, I believe, Austin. But this is a pretty good feed here. Whoever's doing this. Penn Hill's coming up to the line, trying to ice this thing out. The upset win over Aliquippa. Well, that might explain it. Megan says she thinks the Steelers are broadcasting this game. It does have looks like a Steelers logo up there.
Okay. Yeah, I did actually see that. Yeah, and then on the transitions, it was Steelers. Hey, speaking of the Steelers, you'll find me in Pittsburgh this weekend for the Steelers home opener, joining Nick Faribault on the coverage. Looking forward to that in a big way.
Who are they playing this week?
They have the 2-0 Chargers coming to town. We got 2-0 versus 2-0 there for the Steelers home opener. Should be a nice weekend. That's exciting. I'm a Pitt grad, so I haven't been to Pittsburgh in quite a few years. So really looking forward to getting out there. Leaving tomorrow morning. Should be a great weekend.
And for you guys who are just tuning in, we're obviously watching Penn Hills. Now Penn Hills has got to punt this away. So it's going to get interesting here, Austin. Aliquippa's going to get the ball back. Great. Hold on. Did he pin him with that punt, or did it go into the end zone? I think he said it went to the end zone. Aliquippa's going to get the ball back here, trailing by 8 to Penn Hills with 3 minutes to go. Penn Hills trying to close out the upset. So This is going to be this is it. I'm saying the Quips are going to score here, Austin. You've
Could
given
get
their
interesting.
game here. Look, they got the big boys up front ready to go. That was a great punt, Austin. I thought it might have went to the end zone. This kid pinned him at the 3 with that punt. You can't Penn Hill's punter. You can't ask for a better punt in high school football. They get a run up the middle to start it. That didn't look good. And now it looks like whoever just ran that ball for Aliquippa is down. Getting up. But that was a great punt. The Quip still has some good players, man. Larry Moon's over there. He's a nationally ranked corner. I think he called a touchdown pass earlier in this game. You got a flag here. So they're saying he tried to slide. He did go down, but I don't know how good of a good looking slide that was. I don't know if I'd have called that. It's kind of a half-hearted slide. 2:39 to go. Aliquippa down by 8 against Penn Hills, trying to avoid the upset. We're shooting it deep. Incomplete. Took a deep shot there, coming off the penalty. Just gave him a first down, so now we go to 2nd and 10. I mean, not a terrible throw.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's a good play by the defensive back to get active hands there and put it off just enough.
So Aliquippa is trying to avoid this upset. Hands of Penn Hills. 2:30 to go. But yeah, look, we're talking high school football. We're watching this big statewide game wrap up here. But as Austin mentioned, Nick Faribault with our Pittsburgh Steelers coverage, he's been making some noise out in Pittsburgh, and you guys should check that out on PennLive.com. We got the PA High School Football Report podcast, which is twice a week. We got your Penn State coverage. We got Max Ralph and Bob Flounders, who's been doing it 100 years, and Joe Hermit, who's been shooting those photos for decades now, and just a good team out there. Johnny McGonigal. In high school, we have expanded the staff there. Austin's in here as sports editor, and we've expanded our high school staff now. We probably have as many high school or more high school writers now than anybody in the state, I would think, Austin.
True.
More than a lot of people in the country, Austin, these days.
Yeah, it's a different animal, and I would say our commitment to the high school coverage as well. Some places with larger staffs, they've like in this certain cities, they just say, we don't care about the high school coverage anymore. That's not what we're about. We're about doing it all. That's one of the reasons why I came over here to Penn Live. Is that there's a commitment to all sides.
The lights just went out in the Aliquippa Penn Hills game. With Aliquippa trying to come back. This is wild. This is wild. Now they're back on. So the lights went out for a moment. If you folks who are following us, there's 2:30 left. Aliquippa's trying to avoid the upset.
Oh, out again. Well, hey, Brian, I can at least say this. I just texted Stone Saunders to see if he could come on. Yeah. He's on the bus. If they get home in time, he's going to jump on. But we'll have to see whether the broadcast stays on. But bottom line is, I appreciate the record tire getting back to us. So hopefully we're still on and he's able to jump on. But if not, we'll definitely have to have him next week. Yeah, they still got 20 more minutes.
So we probably won't get him. We're trying to stay. Austin, I think we should stay on to the end of this game. We usually go off about 10 o'clock. But I'm hooked. See if Aliquippa can avoid the upset. We get the lights back on. We're lining back up. You got your trips right. Setting up your protection. Fires it behind him across the middle. Going to 3rd and 10. This has been a wild game, including we just had the lights turned out as the Aliquippa, literally the lights turned out in the stadium as Aliquippa was trying to drive. That's a unique way if you need to get the defense. I mean, you're at Penn Hills, Austin. Any chance that Penn Hills said we need a breather, flip the switch?
It's not the worst idea.
We need to take a minute here to,
That's a different style of the dark arts, if you will, of faking injuries and that sort of thing. Hey, just flip off, turn off the lights.
Hold on, that was a turnover there. That was a turnover on down. So the down marker was wrong. Penn Hills so the down marker was wrong. Penn Hills got it back. Penn Hills wins. They just took a knee on it. Penn Hills wins. That's an upset. Penn Hills takes down Aliquippa, 21-13, Austin. Quips are not happy. Well, they took a knee and they celebrated. And Austin, I don't know what's going on in this game, okay? We had the lights go out. It said 2nd down and it said 3rd down, but Quip and Penn Hills got the ball. They kneeled on it. They started celebrating, but it's not over. This is insanity. Now they're going to fumble the snap. Watch. Going to be a big win for Penn Hills, though. So as this looks like Penn Hills is wrapping this thing up, I'll just say again, huge night of high school football. Very interesting night. Austin, I guess some of the big themes, Central PA, Middletown. They had to shut that program down 2 years ago. Hazing incident that was ugly. The program should have been shut down. And the kids who were involved, got what was coming to them, I hope, because it wasn't pretty. But they started it back up. New kids, and had a rough couple of years trying to rebuild that thing. They were a powerhouse at one point, making 3 or 4 straight state titles. And they go out and beat West Perry. And nobody had them picked either. West Perry was undefeated. So that's a big win for Middletown here in Central PA. Statewide, we're watching Penn Hills just upset Aliquippa. They're celebrating, going nuts at Penn Hills. That was a wild game. Pretty good broadcast from the Steelers. Worth going back and watching that one. And then again, Stone Saunders, as you mentioned, Bishop McDevitt quarterback, ties the state's all-time passing touchdown mark set by Alex Irby last year. So a historical night, some interesting upsets, some interesting games that we didn't kind of see unfolding like we did. Austin, I know we're going to have a lot of stuff coming up here on Penn Live, statewide scoreboards and reports and leaders and stuff like that. And then obviously Sunday, Monday, we'll have your top performances around the state. What else we got for them tonight, Austin?
Yeah, well, we've got game stories coming from Harrisburg, Cedar Cliff, Bishop McDevitt, Carlisle, Cumberland Valley Central Dauphin, Mechanicsburg, Gettysburg, and Juniata at Camp Hill, as well as any other stats and results that we receive for the night. You and I will be jumping on, writing those up. We've got the PA High School Football Podcast that Brian is a huge fixture of, and Megan is the producer of. You can count on that every week, twice a week. Keep it locked for PennZone. Megan, did you want to say something? I feel like
yes, I have something for Brian at the end of this podcast.
What is it?
Oh, there it is.
4 touchdowns in one game. Good man.
4 touchdowns in one game.
I don't know if you can actually hear it or not.
We can.
Okay.
Val Bundy. Poke high, all city. 4 touchdowns in one game.
I've had this sitting up here for about
Over spare
I
tire
presume you're referring to my 4
Ran right over
touchdowns
spare
in one
tire
game.
Dixon.
The most famous Poke high football legend. A hint.
Isaac
4
Dolman tonight.
touchdowns in one game.
That's right.
4 touchdowns in one high school football game.
Who once had been a mighty athlete in high school and scored 4 touchdowns in one game. Bundy. B-U-N-D-Y.
It's only like a minute. It's like his
They all
highlights.
city back
Wow.
in 66.
I have a lot of crap that
looks like
I'm talking the whole year.
Looks like Isaac
One
doesn't
game.
even need to go
But do not
look it
take
up
me
himself. We've
there's
got it here
Dolman
on the
touchdowns in a
PennZone.
single game for Poke high.
You know, Al, you were really
better cut it
amazing
now.
tonight. I mean, 4 touchdowns in a single game.
Oh, babe.
No,
That's
you've
no
got 8
big
seconds.
deal. I mean, it's not like it's going to be the highlight of my life or anything. Hi, I'm Al.
Wow. That
I'm
is
willing
impressive.
to bet it won't be the highlight of Isaac Dolman's life.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I don't want anybody living in the past like Al Bundy did. But
We also got
well done, Megan.
We also got No Ma'am on the broadcast tonight, which I have a No Ma'am shirt.
Why does this not surprise me?
No, I don't know what that is, but sounds
All
good.
right. All right, folks. So do we have a not a podcast? Do we
have
have a broadcast?
Penn Live tonight. We'll have more, and then the PI High School Football Report podcast. I'm not shaving for the rest of the year.
I love
gonna
it.
look
He's gonna Grizzly Linder coming at you, folks. Thanks so much for joining us on PennZone. I texted with Stone Saunders. He's the lock for next week's show, as he most likely breaks the state passing record for touchdowns. Looking forward to that. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Megan. Thank you.